Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over two simple chords and two different types of chord progressions that I think every producer should know. We're going to be going over the music theory behind this, and I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you to understand. But with the right inversions and implementing these as passing chords, you can get some really cool chord progressions out of this. So with that said, let's go. All right, so first off, pull up any piano you want to use. I got Keyscape opened up because it's just quick and simple. Whole bunch of pianos, obviously. One thing I love to do is add a big reverb to my piano. Just kind of washes out, keeps it full sounding, and for whatever reason, it just gives me more inspiration when playing. So let's go over here and choose a scale. I'm gonna right click right here. We're in the minor, as you could see. For this, I'll probably go with something like F. It really doesn't matter, just go ahead and choose one. But we are going to be utilizing minor scales, so if you want to follow along with this, choose a minor scale, and then we're going to be using the chord numbers to build this out. So the first chord progression we're going to build is a 1-5-6 chord progression, and I'll show you exactly what that means and how to build it. And then we're going to be utilizing two different chords for passing chords, and I'll show you how those two chords and the chords that we're speaking about in this video implement perfectly in this. So a 1-5-6 chord progression, what is that? All that means is that we're technically building out a chord on the 1 of the scale, the 5, and the 6. So in F minor, F is the 1 of the scale, and as you can see, we have highlighting here. So then the 2 of the scale is going to be G, 3 of the scale is going to be G sharp, and we count up 4, 5, 6. So the 6 is C sharp, and then 7 is D sharp, back to F. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we go back to the 1. So if I want to build out a 1-5-6 chord progression, I'm going to want to build out a chord on the 1 of the scale, which is right here, then 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5 of the scale here, and then the 6 right here, 5, 6. This is going to be 7. So the 6 is C sharp. So it's going to be this. This is the root notes of the chords, and I'm going to build out chords on top of that. But what I'm going to do to have the chord progression sound like it's going down on the scale is just take these two over here, control down arrow. So it's still a 1-5-6 chord progression, but we're using the lower octaves of these. But let's just build out simple chords for this, and then we'll get into the two chords that you could use that are really nice passing chords and that could just accent and add so much to your chord progressions. So for this first one, we're going to build out a chord, skip a note right here, place, skip a note right here, place. This is the F minor chord because we have 2 spaces here, 3 spaces here. Skip one more note in the scale and place. Now we have the F minor 7th, 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 2 spaces. F minor triad, F minor 7th. Then we drop down to C right here. Let's skip a note in the scale, place, skip a note in the scale, place. We have another minor chord. We have 2 spaces here, 3 spaces here. The structure repeats. So we have a C minor chord. Skip one more, place, C minor 7th. Okay, let's go over here to the C sharp. Skip a note, place, skip a note, place. This one is major because we have 3 spaces, 2 spaces. So this is a C sharp major chord, and we skip one more, place, C sharp major 7th. This is the basic chord progression, right? We have the 1, 5, and 6, and it sounds like this. Very simple, nothing crazy to this, right? So let's go over here. First thing I want to do is bring these down a little bit. I'm also going to just randomize them with Alt-R. So here's where we get to implement the two chords that I want to talk about. These two chords are suspended chords. We have the suspended 2 chord and the suspended 4 chord. So what I want to do is add them as passing chords. So what I'm going to do is actually bring this in, and right in here, I'm going to add in either a suspended 2 or a suspended 4. So how do we build out a suspended chord? Well, to make this easy, I'm going to show you in FL with the stamp tool. So if we go right over here to stamp and we hit suspended 2 and we click on a note. So we want to go on F right here and we just click it in. We have the suspended 2. What you'll notice that happened is the chord stayed the same, except this G sharp right here got flattened down to G. This structure is the same for any suspended 2 chord you do. So if we were to bring this over here, right, and let's just bring this down to D sharp. All we did is drag it down, and if we go back over here to stamp, hit suspended 2, and place it on D sharp, you see that that structure stays the same. So the other one we can do is a suspended 4 chord, and all that's gonna do is take this G sharp right here and go up to this note right here. So there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then 1 space. And if I were to go over here, click this suspended 4 chord and click it right here on F, you'll see that that is the same thing. So you can either do it yourself or use a stamp feature. And all that did was take the G, the middle note we had in this chord, and bring it up 1 note in the scale right here to A sharp. So let's hear what both of these sound like and choose one. Let's go with suspended 2 first. and it's going to go from this chord to a suspended 2 into our 5, 6 chord progression. So we have 1 suspended 2 chord into the 5 and the 6. Let's hear it. Smooth, right? Let's go ahead and do the suspended 4 chord. So let's delete this one, place in the suspended 4. This sounds like this. So that's creating like nice tension and a nice passing chord. I do like how that sounds, but what I want to do is actually bring this in because this is a little bit slow. So let's go ahead and go something like this. So between those 2 chords, the suspended 2 and the suspended 4, we can have it placed right here. It sounds nice. I like what that sounds like. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I just want to have a passing chord here. Before we continue, remember when I said that my next kit was going to be a MIDI kit that was multi-genre and 100% royalty free? I was being serious, and guess what? It's out now. The MIDI suite is now available. It contains 100 royalty-free advanced MIDI chord progressions. I broke it up into 5 different parts: dark trap, pain, R&B, West Coast, and emotional sad chord progressions. This kit contains some of my best work. None of these are throwaways. Drag and drop these MIDIs into your favorite VSTs or one-shots and get to work. Best thing is, these MIDIs are 100% royalty free. Use them in your beats and never have to clear it. The 2 chord progressions from today's video will also be included in this kit. After the video, hit the link in the description and pick up the MIDI suite today. Let's bring this back over here, duplicate it like this, go in like this. And then what I'm going to do is take this F right here, go up an octave, so control up arrow, right? So now this F is brought up, we still have the same chord. And then what I'm going to do is take this chord note right here and skip another note and place here. And we're going to go from F down to D sharp, but they're still going to share these notes here. Smooth. That has a nice transition and goes perfectly back into the 1. So from here, let's start to do some inversions. Let's drop the root notes down. So let me show you what this is going to sound like. We'll just take these first ones right here, shift, down arrow like that. We'll hit Alt L, and then we need to bring this one out a little bit more here. Drop these down a whole nother octave, control down arrow. This is going to give this a lot more depth and the chords are going to sound bigger. And then we can start to mess with different types of inversions. So we'll just take random notes that we think might sound good. Let's take this D sharp, bring it up. And then what we could do is actually take this whole chord progression right here, control down arrow 1. What we could do is strum this one, hit Alt S. We could take some of these notes here and go shift over, control up. Add in octaves like this and another A sharp. That's what I was going to do at first. We go something like this. Let's actually take this C sharp over here. That's smooth. That's clean. Then we could just freestyle on top of that. That's fire. I'm actually going to record that real quick. Hold on. But we're going to get into the next chord progression that you can use along with the suspended 2 and the suspended 4. So let's jump over to that. All right. So the next chord progression I'm going to show you is the 4, 5, 6 chord progression. And we're going to be utilizing suspended 2 and suspended 4 chords in between them a lot more than we did in the first one. Let me show you what this sounds like. So I'm going to keep it in F minor because I already explained how this works. But again, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the 1. So we got the 4 right here, place that in. We got the 5 right here. There we go. 6, boom. 4, 5, 6, build chords, and we have a 4, 5, 6 chord progression. So in the scale of F minor, we have the 4, 5, and 6. So let's again build out a chord progression. All I'm going to do is skip every note in the scale like that, place a note, and I'll explain what chord it is. So skip a note, place, skip a note, place, skip a note, place. Right here, we have the A sharp minor 7th. I know that because 2 spaces, 3 spaces right here is the A sharp minor triad. And then we added in the 7th by skipping 2 more, placing 1 here. Then we go to C, same thing. Skip a note, place, skip, place, skip, place. So a 7th chord again, this is the C minor 7th, 2 spaces, 3. This is the C minor chord, 2 more, add 1 on top, we get the C minor 7th. And then over here, same thing, skip, place, boom. And then right here, we have the C sharp major 7th because 3 spaces, 2, then another 3 on top, add a note, and we get the 7th chord of it. So I'm not gonna invert these down because I want this chord progression to have a feeling that it's going up like this. So we are gonna keep it just like that. So the first one I'm gonna add in is right here. I'm gonna just bring this in too. We'll go with the same structure that we did, like the same rhythm for the other chord progression, just to keep this simple. And what we're gonna do is build out a suspended 4 right here on this first one. So I'm gonna go on the A sharp and just highlight this in, bring this in like that. So now we have the minor 7th on A sharp. We're hitting a suspended 4 chord, and then we're going into the minor 7th on C. So it'll sound like this. Then we're gonna hit another one right here before we go into that next chord. And I wanna do another suspended 4 chord right here. So let's bring this in like that. And now we have this. Nice so far, no inversions yet, no lower notes, and it's already sounding cool. So now let's bring this over here all the way to the end. I want to add a little bit of variation and have this chord that starts on the 5th bar just be a little bit longer so that it's like a different switch up for the whole 8-bar chord progression. And for this, let's go with the suspended 2. So let's bring the triad in like that, Shift D, bring this out, and all we need to do is bring this F down to here to hit that suspended chord. So we have the suspended 2, but we can double check this right here, suspended 2, click on the note, there we go, we know it's gonna work, it's the suspended 2. But yeah, all we need to do is have like 1 space here, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then a note. Whereas over here on the suspended 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then 1 space before your next note. Let's Control A, Alt R, make it sound a little bit better. Let's take our root notes, just the first 3 of the chord, that 4, 5, 6, boom, go down, hit Alt L. Then I'm gonna drop these down a whole octave, Control down arrow like that. And what I'm gonna do is Alt and click, make those the same, drag them out. Let's hear what this sounds like now. I like that a lot. We haven't done any inversions yet, so now let's do some inversions to make this sound even more advanced. So for this one, I'm gonna bring up the C. Let's go with A sharp up here. So really whatever notes you wanna bring up, just trial and error. Bring up the 2nd note on this as well. I like that. Let's bring this G sharp down one. We'll also add it in right here. See what this sounds like. Let's take some random notes. Let's take these here. Let's take this, this, and this. Shift click over, Control up arrow. Let's go up. Yeah, that'll work. This might add a lot of tension right here. Don't like that one. This sounds cool. It's all about like experimenting. Cool, we could freestyle on this as well. But just suspended 2s and suspended 4s can really make a chord progression sound a lot different and be nice passing chords or like main chords. It depends what you want to do with them. But yeah, let's add a top melody to this, see what it would sound like. Also change the key of this. Let's go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop it down a whole octave, play higher notes. Ooh. That's clean. Yeah, so you get real creative with this. Hopefully this gave you some ideas of what you could do with suspended 2 and suspended 4 chords along with those chord progressions that I showed you. As always, appreciate you watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. If you want more chord progression tutorials and music theory broken down, let me know in the comment section down below. I really enjoyed doing this tutorial. It's always fun talking about theory and different types of chord progressions that you could do and use, as well as chords. If you're interested in any of my kits, there'll be a link to those in the description. Also, make sure to go over and follow me on Spotify. I'm uploading beats over there so you guys can stream it. If you have already, I do appreciate that. Till the next video, peace.